Ever is the girl we first encounter at the beginning of the movie. Her friend picked her up so she could go to school. She starts talking to her pal after getting into her friend's automobile. They were going on a trip, as we may infer from their discourse. Ever's friend crashes into her car with a cyclist as they are conversing. Ever exits the vehicle so she can make amends to him. However, she recognizes him as Randall, a friend of hers. Randall was unharmed, but some of their school's kids also arrived in the interim. They mistreated Randall and threw a drink at him. When they got to school the next day, their teacher made everyone sit on the bus and confiscates everyone's phones before alerting them about the trip once everyone is seated on the bus. But no one pays him much attention. After a while, we see their teacher, who was also in charge of the excursion, as their bus departs for the destination. On the bus, he was dozing off peacefully. He discovers that the bus is traveling in the opposite direction when he awakens. Why is the bus traveling in the incorrect direction? He queries the driver. A noise is then made by the bus driver. The teacher starts to argue with him as he claims that the bus is traveling in the proper direction. Something smacks the bus's front mirror in the meanwhile. Nothing was seen since blood covered the entire mirror. The bus driver is then unable to control the bus. The bus collapses the bridge and starts to drop into the landfill. Everyone was screaming in fear. However, the bus was descending quickly. Everyone falls to the ground as the bus driver presses the brakes. Many of them sustain wounds. When the bus came to a stop, smoke covered all four of its sides. A chemical assault had occurred outside. It was announced on the bus radio, and everyone needed to report to the station after taking their electronic gadgets. The teacher orders the driver to switch down the radio since everyone is in a panic. Additionally, he had a terrifying appearance. Ever and her companion were highly frightened and opposed to inviting that man inside. However, their teacher believes that the man needs assistance and invites him inside. The teacher asks the man, "What happened? What do you need?" As he opens the door, quite terrified, Randall and his companion were seated in the front seat. When the man finally enters, the teacher is attacked. In fear, all of the pupils flee behind the bus. All of the students in the bus were to be attacked by the man. However, a couple of them managed to get away and ran for the bus's back door. The same man then helps another man board the bus. All of the pupils who managed to get away have run for the jungle. Nobody could fathom how they got stranded or why it was happening to them. And nobody knows whether that man was a zombie or a human. A student says that we heard on the radio that an outside viral attack had taken place. Perhaps it was accurate, and the man had contracted the infection. As he points to a building, Randall instructs the group to take cover there. A boy observes a horse's dead body in the meantime. He also starts to buy into the zombie rumors. He asserts that the individual could, nevertheless, be insane. Everyone now starts to notice the structure. They discover after seeing the structure that it might have once been a studio. However, it is currently desolate. They use the household garbage to cover all of the building's windows. In two groups, they start looking for objects and finding the weapons. Ever is informed by Randall's friend that he likes her. They discover the weapons and are once more gathered. In the meantime, they hear their pal outside making a commotion, but she wasn't by herself. She was there, and so was that strangely odd madman. Additionally, he also attacked their teacher. Ever wanted to assist her friend but was prevented from doing so by others. The crazy man strikes their companion when nobody leaves for a while. Everyone present was frightened and were covertly observing everything. They think their friend has passed away. Their driver suddenly breaks the window and enters. He appeared pretty odd and his lips was bleeding. After seeing the driver's state, it appeared as though he had turned into a true zombie. Everyone was fleeing from him out of fear. While running away, they hide at a location. Later, one of their pals who was escaping approaches them. After escaping the zombies, he arrives here and informs them that a dangerous virus has spread outside, infecting everyone. Zombies have arrived here after running away from him. Together, they all engage in a zombie attack and start moving along a short, winding path. This time, all the zombies have been eliminated. They emerge from a small passageway into a room. One of their buddies notices that their companion is also about to turn into a zombie as they enter a room. But after abandoning him, they leave. The youngster was crying a lot and feeling ashamed when he arrived there, that he left his best friend there alone and did not go with him. He was having some unusual feelings. Everyone asks him if he's okay before he reveals a zombie sting mark on his body. He claims he was all right, but in truth, he wasn't. He was experiencing odd feelings everywhere. The bus driver, who was still wandering around, then arrives. He attacks them once more, and this time Randall hits him severely with a stick. He continues to beat him until he passes away. The zombie bit boy wished to set all of the zombies on fire. He was going upside down because of this. One of his buddies came to aid him, but he doesn't feel good and he sends him back. Meanwhile, the same bus driver comes there, and after taking the boy, he jumps. As he jumps down, he should have died. He didn't, however, pass away, and in an odd way, he even straightened his body. Everyone was startled as they looked at him. He didn't pass away as he was falling. Everyone now accepts the existence of zombies and the veracity of the virus's story. Randall orders everyone to lock the doors and the windows after observing everything. Ever picks up paint cans and lights the fire inside of them before throwing the cans on the ground. The car, which was upside down, caught fire. An explosion occurs there because the car catches fire. All of the zombies' negative attention starts to focus on it. as soon as the zombies have left the outside. Eva explains to her companions that she needed to get her phone off the bus and go outside. Actually, Eva desired a conversation with her family. She is interrupted by her friend who asks, "Are you crazy? You'll get into a lot of trouble if you do this." She doesn't listen to anyone, even Randall's friend, who likes her but disagrees with her. She must leave, so she borrows Randall's companion before heading to the bus. She locates the bag where the instructor had stored everyone's cell phones. However, the phones were off when she checked them. Eva's scheme was a failure. Eva, the poor thing, was ill. She believes that coming here was a terrible mistake. "I like this about you," Randall's friend tells her, "because you've worked so hard to save everyone's life." On the radio, she hears the same message that they did in the morning. When she gets close, the radio was playing a cassette. It implies that the information they received in the morning was false. It indicates that everything was recorded. She is aware that they were intended as a trap by someone. In the meantime, Eve is shot by Randall's friend, who apologizes and asks for forgiveness. Randall also approaches from the rear. We learn that Randall and his companion completed this task jointly, because everyone misbehaved with them and made fun of them at school. They desired retaliation against their friends. All of this was prepared before the trip. They were working with the drug dealer, who was the only person to attack the teacher at the outset and who was engaged with them. Additionally, the bus driver had a connection to them. He was heading in the wrong direction as a result. They've learned about a zombie juice from the drug dealer. After taking it, people start acting strange. They appear to be zombies when we see them. Everyone has been injected by the drug dealer after the zombie juice has been added. They appear to be zombies when we see them. The drug dealer and Randall wanted to murder everyone. The friend of Randall says we can't do this and doesn't want to do it. Eva overheard Randall telling his friends that everyone has turned into a zombie and that you should murder everyone who tries to hurt you. She wasn't completely unconscious because she has regained consciousness. Eva exits the bus while crawling at the same time as Randall and his friend. But she is seen by the drug dealer. Randall walks to the building and informs them that half of our pals have turned into zombies when he tries to stop her. This time, she hits him severely and kills him. So grab the weapons, and if they approach you, shoot them. Later, we find that Eva has also entered the structure and has started beating Randall's friend. She orders the other pals to stop and tells them everything when they start to attack. Eva had been injected by Randall's friend, so she shows them her mark, letting all of her pals know, when Randall appears from behind and orders them to kill Eva. They do not recognize her as a zombie and attack him as well. They later discover an artwork in which Randall is depicted triumphant. Eva's friend, who is standing next to him, realizes that Randall's scheme is behind everything, and the two get into a heated argument. Eva gave Randall the narcotic shot. He passes out and collapses. They thrash the drug dealer severely after chaining his corpse to the tree. On his dead body, they were hurling their rage. They would all be normal if he hadn't given Randall and his friend this drug, and they wouldn't have carried out such a major act of retaliation. After 5 hours, the drug's full effect started to fade. Once more, they all make their way to the bus. They got along just great and have since become friends. Their teacher was still alive and had regained consciousness. We meet Randall and his friend near the end of the film. They were sitting in front of a teacher who was looking into them. They are to blame for all that occurred. The students were all caught up in this dreadful situation. We take away a lesson from this movie that we shouldn't make fun of or tease somebody without a good reason. The guy might be your hazardous enemy, it's feasible. That puts your life at danger. They ought to treat all of their friends equally and on an equal footing. If not, even one of your jokes could endanger everyone. Anyone who hears this joke will have ill will toward you, for their friends, just as Randall and his friend have. Avoid being rude to or making fun of others. The movie finishes with this message.